What do you want of me?
I was hurt when I received the report of the tenure committee. I was shocked. And I was hurt. Now, I don't mean to subject you to my weak sensibilities, all right? And finally, I didn't understand. Now, I asked you here, for the spirit of investigation, to ask, what have I done to you? And I suppose, how can we make amends? Can we not settle this now? It's pointless, really. And I want to know.
What you can do to force me to retract?
No, that is
to
not what I
bribe me,
said.
to convince me to retract?
That is not what I said at all, and you know it is not.
That is not what I know. I wish that I had...
You wish what?
No, you said what amends you can make to force me to retract.
That is not what I said.
I have my notes.
Well, all right, let's see. I find that I am sexist, and I'm an elitist. Now, I'm not quite sure I know what that means, other than a derogatory word meaning bad. And that I insist on wasting time in non-prescribed, self-aggrandising and theatrical diversions from the prescribed text. And here we find listed instances. Closeted with a student, told a rambling, sexually explicit story in which the attitudes of fornication of the poor and the rich are, it would seem, the central point. Moved to embrace said student, and all part of a pattern. Then I used the phrase, the white man's burden, and then I told you how I asked you to my room because I, quote, like you. He said that he liked me, and then he liked to be with me. He let me write my examination paper over if I come back and see him oftener in his office. It's ludicrous. Can't you see that? It's going to humiliate you. It's going to cost you my house. He told me he had problems with his wife and that he wanted to take off the artificial stricture between teacher and student. He put his arm around me.
Can you deny it? Do you deny it? Don't you see? You don't see, do you?
I don't see, no.
You think that you can deny that these things happened, or if they did, that they meant what you said they meant. Don't you see? You drag me in here. You drag us to listen to you go on and go on about this or that, or we don't express ourselves very well. We don't say what we mean. Don't we? Don't we? We do say what we mean, and then you say that I don't understand you, and then you go ahead.
Consult the report.
That's right.
You see? Do you see? Can't you tell me in your own words?
Those are my own words.
Okay. He told me that if I would stay alone with him in his office, that he would change my grade to an A. What have I done to you? Oh my God, are you so hurt?
What I feel is irrelevant.
Don't you know that I tried to help you?
What I know, I have reported.
I'd like to help you now. I really would, before this escalates.
You see, I don't think that I need your help. I don't think that I need anything that you have.
I feel that
I don't care what you feel. Don't you see? You can't do that anymore. You do not have the power. Did you misuse it? Someone did. Are you part of that group? Yes, you are. You've done these things, and to say, oh, let me help you with your problem?
Yes, I understand. I understand that you're hurt. Yes, you're angry. But I feel that anger is betraying you down a path which helps no one.
I don't care what you think.
You don't? But you talk of rights. Don't you see? I have rights too. I have a house, part of the real world. And the tenure committee, good men and true.
Professor!
No, please. Also part of that world. You understand? This is my life. I'm not a boogeyman. I don't stand...
Professor! I came here as a favour. At your personal request. Perhaps I should not have done so, but I did. On my behalf and on behalf of my group. And you speak of the tenure committee? One of those members is a woman, as you know, and although you might call it good fun or an historical phrase or an oversight or all of the above, to refer to the committee as good men and true is a demeaning remark. It is a sexist remark, and to overlook it is to countenance continuation of that method of thought. It is a remark.
Oh, come on. Come on. Sufficient to deprive a family of their...
Sufficient, yes. It is a fact, and that story, which I quote, is vile and classist and manipulative and pornographic. What gives you the right? Yes. To speak to a woman in your private... Yes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You feel yourself empowered. You say so yourself. To strut, to posture, to perform, to call me in here, eh? You say that higher education is a joke, and you treat it as such. You treat it as such, and you confess to a taste to play the patriarch in your class. To grant this, to deny that, to embrace your students.
How can you assert? How can you
deny it? You did it to me here. You did. You confess you love the power. To deviate, to invent, to transgress. To transgress whatever norms have been established for us. And then you sit there and you say, what have I done? And you expect me to understand that you have aspirations too, but I tell you that you are vile. And you are exploitative. And if you possess 1 ounce of that inner honesty that you describe in your book, then you can look within yourself and see those things that I see. And you can find revulsion equal to my own. Good day!
Now wait. Yes, I want to hear it. Tell me in your own words.
My position
I
is
want to hear it in your own words. What you want and what you feel.
No. I think that we should stick to the process, the
No,
conventional process, as you
wait.
said, and you're right, Professor, you're right. I'm
No.
sorry if I was discourteous to you, you're right.
No, wait.
I really shouldn't have.
Now look. Granted, I have an interest in the status quo, all right? Everyone does. But what I'm saying to you is that the technical committee...
Professor,
is,
you're right. Just don't impinge on me.
Wait,
Right? We'll take our differences.
No, you're enormous.
I shouldn't have
I'm
come
trying
out.
to
You're
save you.
You're trying to save me? Do me the courtesy.
I am doing you the courtesy. I'm talking straight to you. You sit down.
No, you must excuse me.
Sit down.
Let me
I'm
go.
just trying to...
Let me go.
I'm just trying to help you.